Thank you for watching this video, and as always, hit the like button, share on social media, and smash that subscribe button. Thank you. Welcome back to my channel. This is Chef Michael Douglas. Today we're going to be making some Hawaiian sweet rolls, very similar to the sweet rolls that might come in a very famous Hawaiian style sort of packaging. All right. So what we're going to need here is a stand mixer, a proofing box, and then an oven. We don't need any sort of special tools. It's a very soft roll that contains a lot of sugars and a lot of fat, so it's very, very soft. So we're going to start with some pineapple juice. This is 3/4 of a cup of pineapple juice. Half a cup of milk. All right. 5 tablespoons of melted butter, cooled down. 6 tablespoons of regular granulated sugar. 3 tablespoons of light brown sugar. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Starting to sound like a lot like a cake. All right. 2 room temperature eggs. That's going to go in. And then 2.5 teaspoons of yeast. That's going to go in. All right. So for this first part, I'm going to use a whisk. Now I'm doing all of this in the bowl of my stand mixer. Just whisking up all the eggs, butter, and sugar.
5 minutes later.
All right. Now for the dry stuff. This is 1/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. 2 cups of bread flour. And then 2 teaspoons of salt. And put that in there. I'm using a wooden spoon. I'm going to stir this around. And I'm using a wooden spoon to kind of smush everything around, get it all kind of stirred up, get the lumps out. Okay. When most of the lumps are stirred out, I will then put this onto the mixer. All right. So I have a stand mixer here with a dough hook attachment. Now to this mixer, as it's mixing, I will add 2.5 cups of bread flour. So I'm going to do it in increments. Use my spoon while I'm doing it. This will be a sticky dough means it's going to want to stick to our hands, and that's going to be okay. We're going to let it absorb the flour, and just add a little bit more as it goes. All right, once the flour is absorbed, we can take this out. Now, this is a sticky dough here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put some gloves on. We have a bowl here for it to proof in. All right, so we're going to let this proof a good little while. It needs to double in size. And it's going to take a little time to double in size. Okay, so now that I am properly gloved up, what I'm going to do is put some oil on my hands and a little bit of oil in the bowl, okay? And the oil on my hands is going to help me get this dough out of this bowl here and into this other bowl. I'm going to use this little plastic scraper as well to help me. Okay. So a little bit of vegetable oil on my hands, a little bit in the bowl here. All right. Maybe a little bit more. Here we go. All right. We have oil on our gloves here. We can grab this dough out. Okay. We're going to kind of form it into a ball. All right. Top side of the ball is going to go into the bowl, give it a little spin around, and then we're going to flip it over. Make sure we have a little bit of oil all over and around. All right. And then we're going to put it into the proofer. And this is going to proof till it's double in size. And in the meantime, we're going to get us a 9 by 13 inch pan. Okay, so it has been about an hour that the uh, Hawaiian Sweet Rolls have been in the proofing box, so they're getting pretty close. So we're going to turn our attention to pan preparation. Okay, so we have a 9 by 13 baking pan. This is an aluminum disposable one. If I'm giving it away as a gift or something like that, I can just give them the whole pan or whatnot. Or you can use a store-bought one that you maybe have or whatever. So we're going to put this in I have a disposable pan here, a little bit of butter in there, and because these are real flimsy, I'm actually using an identical one as a double up, to give it a little bit more stability. All right. So I'm going to use a paper towel. I have about a tablespoon of melted butter in here. I'm just going to spread this around and on the sides. I don't want my yeast rolls to stick to the pan because we have a lot of sugar and fats in the dough itself. It's likely to stick. It's likely to want to stick anyways. So I will make sure this is greased up really good, like that. That's good. Okay, so that's the first part. All right. So the second part is we're going to do an egg wash. Okay, this is 1 egg, a teaspoon of melted butter. Go in there just for a little bit of flavor, and then a tablespoon of water in there like that. Okay, and then I just have a plastic fork. We're just going to whisk that up. Okay, that's really all I need right there for that. Just a little egg wash. Okay, and then I have a brush for the egg wash. All right. Now I put oil on the bread, so it's going to be a little oily there. I'm going to put my gloves on. I'm going to take the dough out. I'm going to put it onto this cutting board. I'm going to flatten it out, and I'm going to cut it and portion it into 15 rolls. Why 15? It's what comes in the package that we all know and love. But it doesn't necessarily have to be 15. We can make them a little bit bigger. We can make them into bread rolls if we wanted to, or into loaves. I'm just going with that, quote, slider sort of shape that we all know and love. So I'm going to pull this out of the proofer. Good. Okay. So I'm going to put gloves on. It's going to be oily and it's going to be kind of sticky and it's going to be soft. Okay. So it's not going to be like the regular bread where, it's a little firmer. It's not going to be like that. This is really soft. Okay, so now we're going to take the bread out. All right, so I'm going to flatten it a little bit. I'm just going to kind of portion it into a bit of a rectangle. The reason why will become apparent in just a moment. So, it's a bit of a rectangle. I'm going to take a scraper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and divide this lengthwise into 3 and widthwise into 5. That'll get me 15. Normally, when I do breads, I put everything on a scale and it's all very exact. It's not being that exact today, right? Not really exact, but it's good enough. All right. I'm going to put these into nice little balls. And into the pan it goes. All right. And we'll let them set and proof. Okay. So once they're all made and rounded off into little balls, we're going to put a little dab of egg wash on top of them. We'll cover them up with plastic wrap and put it back into the proofer for about another 20 minutes. And into the proofer. Okay, so the Hawaiian Sweet Rolls have been in the proofer for about 20 minutes. So we're going to go into the oven at 325 degrees for about 25 minutes as well. But we're going to judge this based on the color of the top. It should be a nice, deep golden brown. Okay, so here's our pan. "20 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 25 minutes. We're going to go ahead and take them out the oven. There we go. Gorgeous Hawaiian roll.